I just don't understand it. I don't think I've ever seen anything like it. This might be the worst drop off of a Boone team that we've seen, because even in previous years when they've done bad, this is just I'm at a loss.
They've completely fallen apart. I mean, they're an extremely beatable team right now.
You are Locked On Yankees, your daily New York Yankees podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Yankees, which is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thank you for making us your first listen every day. I'm Stacey Gotsoulias. This episode of Locked On Yankees is brought to you by Booking.com. Booking.yeah. The right stay can make you a fan of any city, even your rivals. Check out Booking.com for your stay today. With me, as usual, is my co-host, Brian McKeon. Brian.
Stacey, another loss.
I mean, I can't
it's an easy show for us. We're comfortable with it. We know what it's like.
Yeah, but I can't even articulate how annoyed I am right now. But before we get into that, before we get started, don't forget, subscribe to the podcast on whichever podcasting platform you prefer. There are about 9 million of them at this point. Subscribe to our channel on YouTube, like our videos, hit the bell so you know when our videos go up, and make sure you're still subscribed to us on YouTube, because again, I'm getting messages from people saying that they're being unsubscribed or they're not seeing our videos in their feed. So just make sure that we're still there. Coming up on today's show, it's Fanmail Friday. We'll be answering your questions. But first, God, that was so annoying. It was such an annoying game. I just wanted to bang my head into a wall basically the entire time.
It's funny because you thought after the Soto home run, like, okay, they're going to compete today. And that's the feeling that I had. And then all of a sudden, Stacey, the next half inning, it falls apart. And you didn't know what to think. It's amazing how different of a pitcher Nestor Cortes is on the road than he is at home. It's complete. He looks like the most average 5 ERA pitcher on the road you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah.
And then on at home, he's a 1 ERA guy. He's amazing. They looked all over the place. I'm not seeing much of a difference with Verdugo leading off. And it doesn't change anything to me, honestly. No. I know they're trying something different, but it's not doing much for me. This just felt like a lackluster effort.
Yeah.
It felt like a meh game. And now they haven't won a series since June 10th against the Royals.
Yeah. 0-7-1 in their last 8 series. They've also been unable to win consecutive games.
Good teams don't go through stretches like that. They don't. I'm sorry.
It's the strangest. It's just so weird how it turned on a dime. It's unfathomable to me. I can't even say the word. I just don't understand it. I don't think I've ever seen anything like it. This might be the worst drop off of a Boone team that we've seen, because even in previous years when they've done bad, this is just I'm at a loss.
They've completely fallen apart. I mean, they're an extremely beatable team right now. They are. They're not a good team. This feels like, I mean, the 2020 year was really bad too. They really collapsed that year too. But
the COVID year, they were really up and down that year. Yeah. But that's why they finished 33 and 27, because it was just constant like this.
Is really
there
bad,
was no. Yeah. It's really
I
hard
think
to
the
watch.
The paradox of back and forth is what's different about this year too, is because they started off this year so good.
Yeah.
They were so good to start this year off.
Like too
good. They started this year off as one of the best teams in baseball.
Yeah, they're
now finishing the year off as one of the worst teams in baseball.
Yeah, it's like I said, there's some happy medium there, because they're not as good as they were in the first 2 months of the season, but they're not this bad. And I don't understand why they're playing this bad. I don't understand why they can't snap out of it. Soto wincing whenever he has a strange swing on the bat scares me. Judge has cooled off a bit. He's gone the longest without a home run since mid-April. So he's in a little bit of a funk there. So that's not helping, because he's one of the only people really hitting the ball regularly on the team. So it's just, they've been playing like they needed the All-Star break to come for a month, and you can't do that.
And we've been saying it for a month.
Yep.
We've been saying it on this show for a month. They need the All-Star break. Mm-hmm. The problem is we were saying it too long ago.
Yeah.
And now you're at a position where, I mean, yeah, you need it desperately. Don't get me wrong, but you could easily lose all 3 games to Baltimore.
Oh, yeah.
Easily. And it wouldn't even remotely surprise me.
I mean, it's unbelievable right now that the Yankees are only 2 behind Baltimore right now because Baltimore cannot get anything going they are
can't
not
be consistent, yeah.
They're not taking advantage of this. They should be up by like 12 games at this point with the way the Yankees have been playing over the last month.
At least double digits.
Yeah, at least double digits. They just got swept by the Cubs. We'll talk about that later. At home, first time in 71 series, 71 series that the Baltimore Orioles, it took that long for them to get swept at home. That's unbelievable.
It's weird. It's not like they're playing well, and they've got all this talent, and every time you look at a projection for this season, it looks like everyone's got Baltimore having this great, unbelievable. They're absolutely going to land in first place. They haven't been that good.
Right.
I mean, they really haven't. I mean, they've been very mediocre, lackluster, but you're in one of those stretches
They're going to look great against. They're going to be happy that the Yankees are coming into Camden Yards because they've just been owning the Yankees all season.
The Yankees have become that team.
Yeah. All right. It's time for Fanmail Friday. And as usual, it's time for our first question from Betty. And Betty asks, if you were chosen as a replacement for Cashman today, what immediate moves would you make? I can tell you right now. What did we talk about earlier in the week?
Yeah. Aaron Boone is gone. He's gone with Cashman.
Bye. By the way, Brett Boone was on, who was he with? He was on a podcast or FAN. That's right. He was on FAN talking about, oh yeah, no, my brother's fine. Yeah, of course he's fine because no one's going to do anything with him.
No, he's doing great.
Of course he's doing great. It's wonderful being Aaron Boone.
You signed a new deal this past offseason. He's doing great.
It's great. It's great. Would that be your first move too?
Yeah. Not even it wouldn't even be a remote question.
Right.
There's no player to go out there and get. I mean, I guess you keep seeing the rumors of the Jazz Chisholm. I don't hate that if they want to make it.
I don't hate it either.
But no, I mean the move is go get rid of the manager first.
Yeah. You can take the next one.
David F is saying, "Hi, Stacey and Brian. What current position players do you see as a solution beyond this season?" Well, I guess what you're asking is who's going to remain in their spot. The only one that I see, there's 2 guys that I see beyond this season on the Yankees that are going to remain in their spots for sure. Volpe at short, Judge in center.
Yeah. Everyone else is like, well, DJ, right? Because DJ can't go anywhere.
No, I don't. They could get rid of him after this year. They can cut him.
That's true.
He's been terrible.
I know.
Would you be shocked if they cut him? He's been awful.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't be surprised if they cut him. It would be I was more surprised, when they finally got rid of Hicks. I was like, whoa, they actually did that. Like I was shocked that they did that.
Easier though, lower salary.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it was still, they signed him to that extension. They really did not do well with the extensions. Him, Severino. No. They were having really bad luck.
The good thing is they were at lower value, so they were able to move on from those extensions pretty quickly.
Yeah. But if that's the question, then I guess Volpe and Judge. If we're looking around the league, I don't know, because I don't know I don't know about the free agent class. I don't know who they'd be going after. I don't know that much about that yet. So, but thank you for the question, David. Yeah. Up next, Shalid, another insider. We all know Boone isn't going anywhere, but in a perfect world, who could you guys see managing the Yankees to victory?
Right now, it's Ausmus.
Yeah.
That's who I'm going after right now. Off-season hits, you don't know. It could be anybody, right? If the off-season hits. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I would love Buck Showalter.
Yeah, I'm seeing that from a lot of people too.
I don't know if his time is still available to be managing.
Right.
But I would love him. I mean, people forget with the Mets, they remember the failure year, but they forget that he won 101 games the year prior with the Mets. Right. Everyone just conveniently forgets that.
And the failure year wasn't really his fault.
Completely agree.
Yeah.
But right now the move is Ausmus. That's the move, right? Like right now, if you're making a move, it's
right
Ausmus.
there. Yeah. It's just easy enough.
You have a former manager right in front of you. It's absolutely the move.
Yep. All right. Don't forget, Subscribe to the channel, hit the like button on our videos, hit the notification so you know when our videos go up. And if you would like to be part of the next Fan Mail Friday, reply to the pinned comments on our videos Monday through Thursday. Or you could join the Locked On Yankees Insiders Club and you get into segment 1 and segment 2, because we're going to have we're going to have one more insider question coming up in segment 2. If you join the Insiders Club, the link is in the description. That's how you do it. You get top priority. You get texts from us. You can text us questions, reactions. I refreshed the Insiders Club, and I noticed that no one texted anything about the game, which I was kind of surprised about, but I'm sure if I look later, it'll be there. There's a 14-day free trial. It's a lot of fun. Coming up next, more Fan Mail Friday questions. This episode of Locked On Yankees is brought to you by Booking.com. Booking.yeah. It's summer, and that means baseball, but summer also means travel, so why not mix the two? Don't you think it's time you explored some of those cities across the country that you secretly wanted to learn about? Yes, we're talking about the Yankees' rival cities. If you're planning a trip to Fenway to see the Yankees take on the Red Sox, Booking.com makes it a breeze, and it's not just about hotels. You have a variety of accommodations to choose from, like bed and breakfasts right outside of Boston, vacation rentals, resorts, and more, all with the convenience of Booking.com. On Booking.com, you can find the perfect stay even in your baseball rival city. And for Yankee fans, that means more than just Boston. It means Baltimore, which you could do this weekend if you wanted to. And if you were just there this week, Tampa. You can book hotels that overlook stadiums or book family-friendly resorts. Booking.com has so many choices across the U.S. for your summer travel this MLB season. The right stay can make you a fan of any U.S. city, even your rivals. Book today on Booking.com on the site or in the Booking.com app. And Locked On Yankees is also sponsored by eBay Motors. Passion, drive, and patience. What brings home the winning trophy is also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. From superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has got you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to turn your car into the MVP and bring home that win. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only, exclusions apply, and eBay Guaranteed Fit is only available to U.S. customers. Welcome back to Locked On Yankees. Make sure you watch Locked On Sports Today, a free 24/7 sports streaming channel programmed for you every day to bring you the biggest sports stories of the day. Locked On Sports Today brings you can't-miss analysis, opinions, and news. Streaming 24/7 on YouTube or the free Amazon Fire TV channels app. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And you can catch the hometown Yankees broadcast on SiriusXM. Just download the SXM app and search the word Yankees. Oh, and one note, I will be on Locked On Sports Today.
Ooh.
Probably today. I'm assuming it would be Thursday today, or Friday today. So, yeah, so it should be interesting. I recorded that earlier. So here we are. It's more Fan Mail Friday. You can, hold on, let me get to the right spot in our system so I can put the question on the screen and you can read it this time, Ryan.
This is from Casey. Yeah. What are your favorite memories of going to a baseball game? It doesn't necessarily have to be a Yankees game. I got one easily. Yeah, a couple years ago, more than a couple years ago, my uncle took me to a Phillies Mets game in Philadelphia, and Roy Halladay took a perfect game into the 7th inning. And it was broken up by Jose Reyes. That's one of my favorite. Just to see that in person, it was amazing. I saw A-Rod's last game. That was really awesome to be at. In 2017, I was at the comeback game against the Astros.
Nice.
Game 4. I was at all the home playoff games. I was at the Didi home run game. I've been to a lot of big baseball games. But the one that always sticks out when I hear that question is that one. And me and my uncle went to a game at Shea. I believe it was also Mets Phillies in like 2006, and the game went to like 19 innings. So bad. I remember my uncle worked overnights, and we had to leave so you can get home, so you can get to work in time. By the time we got back to my grandmother's house, the game was still on television. So yeah, I remember that very vividly. Those are my favorite games that I've been to.
Game 4 of the 2001 World Series. Tino to tie, Jeter to walk off. Hard
to beat that one.
I permanently damaged my voice that night.
Good.
And so now if I go out and I talk too much or I talk too loud, I'm in a bar where there's loud music and I'm trying to speak over it, I will wake up the next day with no voice. It's
worth it.
It's really great. Never went to a doctor, didn't have a voice for 5 days after that game. And I went on vacation after that too, which is even funnier. So I was walking around like, whispering to people because I had no voice. It was totally worth it. It was one of the best games I've ever been to. Like I've never been in an atmosphere like that in my life before or since. Like it was just amazing. And then the first 2 games I ever went to that my dad took me to way back in 1983, took me to a doubleheader against the Blue Jays. My 3 friends were with me, Billy, John, Joe, because I was friends with guys too, because sometimes in elementary school, you kind of like boys and girls are kind of separated, but no, I used to flip baseball cards and trade baseball cards with my guy friends and,
Nothing wrong with that.
Right. So my dad, I think about it all the time. My dad took 4 8-year-olds to a single admission double header by himself. Bless. What the hell was he thinking? Now that I'm an adult, I think about this all the time. When I was a kid, I didn't think about it because I was like, oh, cool, my dad's taking me to 2 Yankee games. But as an adult, I'm thinking, Gus, what on earth were you doing? My goodness. Yankees swept both games. Ron Guidry pitched a complete game in one game. The Yankees hit 4 home runs in the other game, if I'm not mistaken. I think those were the 2 things. And Dom Mattingly was a rookie, and I don't even think he was wearing 23 yet. I think he was still wearing 46 that day.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a long time ago. All right, well, that does it for the insider questions. So the next one comes from Robert Cambion 6589 from YouTube. Hi, Stacey. I agree that Aaron Boone should be gone. Who would you bring in for the manager for the Yankees for the remainder of the season? We answered this already. It would have to be Ausmus. He's right there.
It's the only option at this point.
He's the next guy in succession. So, it's not like they would bring someone in from the outside. Like I said it when they hired him. It's like, well, he's there in case they need to fire Boone. That's why they brought him in. Right? That would be the only reason. So, yeah, it's got to be Ausmus. Thank you for the question.
Let's go to Hawkeye 4205. He says, notice you both were confused about Nestor's numbers when it's been clear he has been 2 different pitchers. His road splits are abysmal while his home splits are Cy Young-esque. Nestor is still very good at home. Blake needs to figure out how to lower the road walks. My question is, do they trade for a starter or put both of Heel and Clark in the pen down the line? I don't think either. No. I think they go forward with the rotation as it is. I don't think they need a starter. I don't think it's worthy to go get a starter. I think they're going to have to give up way too much to go get a starter. And there isn't a lead arm available out there right now anyway.
Not really. No. Yeah, I think it would be bullpen move.
If they got a starter, I'd be stunned, put it that way. I'd be floored.
Yeah, because I'm thinking about who's available and like who's really out there. Like I know people have mentioned from the White Sox, Crochet. Is that his name?
Yeah,
what's his name? Right?
Garrett
I think
Crochet,
I've seen his name. Yeah, I've seen his name thrown around, but there really isn't much. Like anyone that they would have gotten has already been moved. Has been moved already. So
exactly.
Yeah, I think it would be bullpen arms. I don't see they wouldn't move Clark Schmidt into the pen. He was pitching so well before he got injured. Like he was having such a good season, and it was like he got over that hump that he couldn't quite get over last season. And he just looks so good. And yeah, so I don't see him going into the pen. I don't think they would do that with him. But thank you for the question, Hawkeye. And our final question of this segment from Mark G7373, which kind of rhymes. Which player who has not had their number retired should have their number retired? A-Rod. Just to piss people off.
I'm not kidding. I thought the exact same thing. It's A-Rod and CeCe Sabathia.
Yeah.
But I actually think A-Rod should have his number. People, because of the steroids, forget how good Alex Rodriguez was.
Right.
I mean, I'm being honest with you. That's a real thing, and it annoys me because A-Rod was, Stacey, look at his numbers. He's a top 5 player in the history of baseball. And people just forget that. And I get it, the steroids, and you want to hate the steroid guys. I'm cool with that. But there's so much more to it. And A-Rod, I mean, the years he put up with the Yankees were so unbelievably good. I have a hard time sitting here thinking that, A-Rod can't have... No, A-Rod deserves all the respect in the world, and I think his number should be retired, honestly.
Yeah, there was that segment that he did when they were doing a Fox game like a month ago, and they were in Monument Park, and I think Ortiz said something about it, and A-Rod's like, yeah, you're never going to see me out here. Like, you're never. This is the only time you're going to see me out here.
I think he's aware of it, but I think he should have his number retired. I really do.
I think so too. Plus, it's 13. Who wants to wear 13 anyway? 13's an unlucky number. Just retire.
Brandon Drury.
Yeah. Joey Gallo.
Yeah.
So how well that went. Thank you for the question, Mark G. But yeah, I was like A-Rod right away. Coming up next, we have one more Fanmail Friday question, and it's more of an essay, but we're going to get into it next segment.
Here on Locked On Yankees, we pride ourselves on getting you the latest news for your team, whether it's the offseason, the draft, spring training, or the playoffs. It's year-round. You know what else is year-round? Collection season. Just because tax season is over doesn't mean the IRS will stop coming after you for unfiled taxes. The IRS can garnish your wages, levy your bank accounts, and even seize your property. Don't let the IRS target you. Let the licensed professionals and tax experts at Tax Network USA go to bat for you. With over 14 years of experience and an A+ rating by the Better Business Bureau, Tax Network USA has saved their clients over $1 billion in tax debt. And whether you owe taxes, have complicated matters that require tax planning, or you finally hit that parlay this season and need help correctly filing, call 1-800-549-1000 or visit tnusa.com/lockedon. See the link in this episode description below. And Locked On Yankees is brought to you by Stitch Fix. You know that instant confidence boost when you get an outfit that makes you look really good? That's what I get with Stitch Fix. I just give my stylist my size, style, and budget preferences. I order boxes when I want and how I want. No subscription required. And they send 5 just for me pieces plus outfit recommendations and pro styling advice. I keep what works best and I send the rest back. And if you don't love something, you just have to send it back. Shipping, returns, exchanges, they're always free. Style that makes you feel as good as you look. And get started today at stitchfix.com/MLB and get $20 off your first fix. That's stitchfix.com/MLB for $20 off. Stitchfix.com/MLB. You must redeem within 7 days of sign up. Locked On has launched the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel on YouTube, and now it's also available on Amazon Fire TV in the free Fire TV Channels app. Locked On Sports Today is here for you 24/7, covering the top sports stories of the day with the local experts of Locked On, plus our national shows that are covering every league. Find Locked On Sports Today now, available on the free Fire TV Channels app. Stacey, do you want me to read it, or do you want to do the honors?
You can do it this week because I did it last week.
Thank you so much. Robbie,
right.
You're a gem, but you leave some long-winded questions. But we'll get to it now. It'll kill a minute of our show. Robbie Garn, 7732 says, well, since you guys have already answered my, and I'm sure many others, questions about getting rid of Boone, here's another crazy one. Do you see any scenario in which the Yankees would trade Soto? Before you accuse me of being mentally unstable, hear me out. What if we could get a king's ransom for Soto, including Major League ready or close to Major League ready infield talent and some excellent bullpen arms, while letting Soto go with the tactic, understanding that you're going to go all in on him in free agency, period. And this move is specifically designed to build a strong base around Soto for next year. Meanwhile, you ultimately get the Martian back, bring up Vivas, and I don't know who Vivas is, and others, and just have a grand old time down the stretch. With the new manager who lights up fire under everyone's rear end, and the team would be poised for a stretch run that, in conjunction with the wins they've already banked, gets them into the wild card, where they are once again underdogs and have nothing to lose. I believe that this course of action has potential to give much-needed playoff experience to young guys who are then ready to win after we sign Soto this offseason. Okay, tell me why I should be committed for even suggesting this. LOL. Thanks, guys, and keep up the good work. Robbie, no. No. You're not going to get a King's ransom back for Juan Soto. That's the first answer. There's not a King's ransom out there for him. Juan Soto is going to go for the bare minimum. He's going to be a free agent in 3 months. No one's paying you a King's ransom for a rental. They're not giving you multiple arms and multiple major league players. You're getting maybe 2 or 3 single A players.
Right.
It's
Yorbit Vivas, by the way, that he's talking about.
Okay. Yeah. Didn't get that at all. New manager, sure. I like that. I don't think it lights enough under them. And I don't think, Robbie, that the Yankees necessarily always perform well as underdogs. That's not what they do. Like, the Yankees are never underdogs. They're always favorites. They're comfortable as favorites. I don't think them being an underdog necessarily means that they're poised to play better. I get where you're coming from, that generally underdogs are more like the team that like everyone wants to root for. I don't think the Yankees are ever the underdog, no matter what. That's just the way I look at it. I don't know about you, Stace.
2017 they were. I think 2017 they were.
Sure, but they were still the Yankees.
Yeah, but
they were still the New York Yankees.
People weren't expecting them, especially the way they played against Cleveland in the regular season, and the way they went down the first 2 games. People are like, oh, here we go. Another first round exit for the Yankees. And then they come back and then they do what they did to Houston and nearly win against a team that was cheating.
It did have an underdog feel to it. I'll agree with you.
Yeah.
But I still don't think the Yankees can ever be considered underdogs. I get where you're coming from with 2017. I do. I don't think you can ever consider a team that's won 27 titles an underdog. And plus, if they won 90 games and got into the wild card this year and they have Garrett Cole and Aaron Judge and Juan Soto, no one's going to look at them as an underdog.
Yeah. Like no matter who they have on the team, like, even if they have a bunch of kids on the team, as long as they have those big guys, they're not going to be.
But no, and there's no way they're treating Soto.
Yeah.
Or it's not going to happen.
No.
Sorry, Robbie. Thanks for the question. Thanks for the thought. Thanks for the long response.
Next week, make it shorter, Robbie, just because it's hard to read these things sometimes.
It's exhausting
because you don't want to screw it up, right? While you're reading on the air. And just make it a little shorter. Make it like half of that. Like make it 150 words instead of like 300. So that's Fanmail Friday. Thank you for your questions. Again, I have to scold some of you for not leaving questions under our pinned comment and just comments. The pinned comment is just for Fanmail Friday. But I love some of the comments that you guys left. I like some of the compliments that you left for both me and Brian. We appreciate them. Thank you. Again,
me too.
I talk about how I appreciate you all the time. I'm about to celebrate my 6th anniversary with Locked On. One, I can't believe I've been here for 6 years. When I first started, I didn't think more than 2 people would ever listen to this show. And we're at nearly 6,660 subscribers on YouTube, which I hope we hit because I'd like to see 666 there because that's always kind of funny. But I just appreciate every single one of you. I like our little group that we have at night when the videos go up at midnight or later, depending on how long it takes me to edit, and the people in the chats. And you guys are
I got to be honest too. I've been here this is my 4th month now in the month of July, and I'm having a blast every night going over this with you, even though the season has been kind of lackluster.
Yeah.
I'm having a great time. I'm enjoying all you guys' company. I'm really enjoying the Fanmail Friday aspect of the show. You guys have been, I know it took a little bit of warming up to get used to me, but you guys have been really, really kind to me. And the show is doing really well. The numbers reflect that. So we really, really appreciate the support that we get from you guys. We really do.
Yep. So Yankees going into Baltimore. Ugh, this could be a nightmare.
I'm scared.
Yeah, I'm scared.
Yeah, too. It feels like a nightmare scenario. While I think that the Baltimore has not played well, Baltimore's kind of limped into the series. They just feel like the much better team, and I think there's a little bit of a get up for them going into the series also.
Right. Because it doesn't matter how they could go into this series losing 15 games in a row.
Exactly.
There's going to be a little bit more motivation. Feel uncomfortable. I would still feel uncomfortable because the Yankees are just.
Yeah,
man,
exactly.
They can't play against the AL East. It's like, thank God they don't play 19 games against these teams anymore.
Yeah. You're right.
Because, man, the season would be a lot worse if that were the case.
It's been a struggle, and playoff position is going to matter. And it feels like the division is so far-fetched at this point.
Oh, yeah.
You're just going to try and get wins where you can.
Yeah. And, Baltimore and the Yankees are playing so badly that they're allowing the Red Sox to creep back into the race. The Red Sox are not that far behind. So,
you're right.
They're paying so much attention to each other that it's like, hi, the Red Sox are like, hey, guys, we're right here.
They're creeping up big time.
Ugh, it's a weird season. And it's only July 12th. Speaking of July 12th, happy birthday, Austin Wells, 25 today. And the reason I know this is because 25 years ago today, Monday, July 12th, I started my job at NBC. So I will never forget Austin Wells' birthday because of that.
That's horrifying.
It's horrifying that I'm nearly 25 years older than him also, but I remember that day like it was yesterday.
I'm sure.
It was a big deal getting hired by NBC, because I went to school for broadcasting, then I went into sales after college, and then to be at NBC and be in 30 Rock and see, we were in the same elevator bank as the SNL people. So I saw them all the time. I saw Conan all the time. Like, it was just all the news people, and it was amazing. And I can't believe that was 25 years ago. That's crazy. So happy birthday, Austin Wells. Sorry that you aren't playing as much as you could.
Or as well as you could.
Well, he needs to play more, and then maybe he'll hit. Also, I heard that, or I saw that Matt Blake got thrown out of the game because they were having an issue with the home plate umpire. Boone got thrown out of the game by that home plate umpire last season and got into a whole thing with him last season. So I think Boone was probably like, all right, you can do it this time. I already had an experience with him. You go out and you take the heat because, yeah. So, unbelievable. Just what a horrible night of baseball.
Get to the break.
So annoying. And
get to the All-Star break. That's all I could say.
Yeah, and I feel like Juan Soto, it's nice that you made the All-Star game, but you don't have to play in it if your hand hurts. Maybe rest. No,
play it, please. Play in it. I'll be there. Play in the game.
All right, one at bat.
Yeah, give me an at bat, then take him out for rest.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so coming up next week, Brian's going to be in Texas for All-Star festivities.
Yes, I will.
And in case you don't know, the Yankees in Baltimore are playing early on Sunday.
Very early.
Very early. It's a morning get brunch together kind of
It'll
game.
interfere with church.
Yeah, it'll be like over by 1:00 in the afternoon, which is actually kind of good because then you can do whatever you want on Sunday and you have the All-Star break. It's kind
presumably
of like
so. It's an early start.
Yeah.
Especially for me, I'll be in Dallas. It's going to be like a 10:30 start.
Yeah, you're going to feel like the California people who, when their football teams play a 1:00 game.
Oh, yeah.
And they wake up and do breakfast at 10:00. That's kind of
awesome. Weirdly enough, I actually like it when I'm in California and the football games start at 10 a.m. It's like weirdly very peaceful. But if it was every week, I don't know how I could do it.
Yeah, it's like when your team plays in London also, and you wake up in the morning and they're playing it like.
That's a little too early though. Those are like 8:00 starts.
Well, that's like when you wake up because I used to watch soccer, so I'd wake up at like 6 a.m. to watch soccer.
I went through my first year of I got into the Premier League huge this year. And that was me this year. I was getting up at like 7:00 in the morning on an off day.
Yep.
To pour coffee and I don't know why I did it. I love it, but I don't know why I did it.
Who are you supporting?
I don't really have a team yet. Like it's hard because I haven't like latched on to anyone.
Mm-hmm.
I love watching Madrid. Like I love watching Real Madrid, but I don't have like a team that I've like latched to. I feel like a connection to Tottenham. I don't know why.
I have a friend who supports them.
But there's no like natural team that I'm drawn to. I just love watching it. I love the back and forth, the season ending. Man City's so much fun to watch. But I do want to hate Man United.
Yeah,
I don't know why. I want to hate them. It's so annoying because they're very Yankees like.
Right.
But I want to hate them. So I've decided that I've decided.
That's good. All right. So next week. Brian will be in Texas, All-Star Game festivities. We'll be talking about, how the Yankees do in the All-Star Game. We'll talk about how the kids do in the Futures Game. We got 2 of them there. And next week we'll be doing different episodes because the games don't start up till later in the week. And we'll be, taking a look back at the first half. We'll be talking about what they could possibly do for the trade deadline. We'll try and come up with stuff, but the All-Star break is basically here. Can't believe it.
Right,
unbelievable. This season is going by a little too fast. One more time before we end the week, don't forget, join the Locked On Yankees Insiders Club. The link is in the description. There's a 14-day free trial. You get text from us. You can text us questions, reactions, all that good stuff. And you can send us your questions for Fanmail Friday. If you don't want to do that, you can leave them under the pinned comment on YouTube, Monday through Thursday. Pinned comment for Fanmail Friday. I'll say it again. And you can catch the Yankees hometown broadcast on SiriusXM by downloading the SXM app and searching for Yankees. So that'll do it for this edition of Locked On Yankees. I'm Stacey Gotsoulias.
And I'm Brian McKeon. We'll see you next week live from Texas.
Well, he'll be live from Texas. I'll still be in New York.